Welcome, everybody. We'd like to get the program started as soon as possible. And we thank you all for coming. Some came very long distance. I want to thank Lehigh for putting up such a nice spread, and especially Gina Quinn. She was fantastic with this. Thank you so much, Gina. But we're going to start off with Coach Pat Santoro. I want to say a few words about our friend Billy. Okay?
Hold on, Pat.
Oh, I got a microphone?
You do, yes. For those who can't.
I'll be held accountable now for what I said. I can't deny it.
Thank
All right.
you. That's short.
I'll try to be short here, but Colin, it's great seeing you guys again. This is it's not a great moment for gathering, but it's a special moment for sure. We all know Billy was a national champ here, but anyone that knew him, he was way more than a national champ. He just, for me, I'm talking with Mike. Unfortunately, I never got to see him wrestle, but he was tough. He was gritty, and he had a way to make people wrestle his match. And that's the way you got to approach life, right? You find your strengths, and that's what he did. He is also that rare combination of extremely intelligent, but really humorous. Anyone that knows him, right? Like, I think half the stories I know from Lehigh are Billy stories. So I'm sure we'll share some of those later. Yeah, so they're pretty funny. But he would walk in a room and he can make the most mundane moments really memorable, right? By the time you left, you were in stitches, you were laughing. He lit up the room. That was his gift. He could make people feel really good about themselves. And I remember going through some tough times, some tough duels sometimes, and we'd have a function afterwards. I'd be laughing by the end of the night, and I'm sitting there kicking myself 10 minutes before that. But he made me really appreciate things. And there's a bigger picture than just wrestling matches, right? And that's what he had, He's an emergency room surgeon, that just blows my mind. He's not only an NCAA champion, but he also succeeded in life. And I think one of the greatest gifts you can do is either give your life for somebody or save someone's life. And that's what he did for a living. So it doesn't surprise me the way he could remain calm in those extreme moments and make really big decisions. And that was Billy. And one thing too is he loved you guys. I mean, every time he talked about you, he just lit up. So he was always bragging about you guys too. So it's pretty cool. And even facing like life's most difficulties, right? He was that guy who was always positive. He always brought that positive attitude. I think he told the doctor he was going to outlive him. So he may have too, right? So, but he faced everything. Exactly. Yeah, he's kind of like a hero for all of us. He's just that person that faces life and he approaches it with the right mentality. Because if anything, you're going to succeed in anything, you have to have the right mentality, attitude and effort. And he had all that. I think this is the biggest thing I think about him. I know he had an enormous amount of courage and he had this unbreakable spirit about him, right? But his legacy wasn't just about his achievements. I think his biggest thing was how he made people feel around him and a positive impact on all of us. But I'm really glad you guys are here tonight. So, but thank you.
Thanks,
yeah,
Pat.
thanks. Yeah.
Now we're going to hear from Coach Terry McCoy. Terry, Billy was on your board for how long? 10 years?
Longer than I was here.
Yeah, probably. So,
Okay.
You got it, yeah.
Mhm.
Well, it's great to see everybody today. It's definitely a somber moment, and having a little bit of time since Billy actually passed, it makes it a little bit easier, but it's obviously not easy, right? And Colleen and your family, and just again give you our thoughts and our prayers have been with you the whole time, and it's really been great for me to get to know Colleen especially. Got to visit some of the family earlier, and but just having Billy in our lives, obviously everyone could say we're all better off for that. And there's never been a bad story that involved Billy. So it's maybe the story was bad, but the delivery and the execution was really good. So, but but it's been really exciting to have had shared the experience with him. And when I thought about just remembering him, and the one thing for him is always how can I help you, right? How can I help you? What do you need? How can I help you? And in this world, that means a lot. That means a lot. And so you all know that having someone to be able to, fill a hole, fill a void, just be there, and not just do it to do it, but do it with a smile. And that's what Billy meant to all of us. And so we had maybe a year and a half ago, we had our RTC athletes meet with Billy, and telling the stories and the things that he was doing, and And our guys, you know, we're talking Olympian, world championship, NCAA champion guys, and their jaws were dropping just to hear the stories and what he was going through and still doing it. You know, it wasn't like he stopped and he was retired, and he was still doing these things. And you know, being an expert witness, you know, for murder cases, it's like, you know, what's that all about? And he told some stories that maybe he wasn't allowed to tell, but it was really cool to have that interaction with him. And just that was just a small piece of it. But you know, as you all know, he didn't keep him to himself, right? He shared with everybody, and for us to be fortunate to be one of those groups that he was able to share with, and me personally, I'm really excited that I got to spend some time. So, you know, our condolences go to the family, and thank everyone for coming out today to celebrate. And you know, obviously gone but not forgotten, and he'll be with us always. So, thank you, and you know, wish you guys the best.
Colleen. Going to hear from Colleen now. We got to put your mic on. Got to put your mic.
I love looking at all these faces. Billy Stuart, he loved Lehigh. I can't thank you all enough for being here and being so supportive, and it's been a great community. Love you all. Billy did too. Not a good speaker.
I wish I could talk without notes, but I got some things that I don't want to miss. So I'm going to talk to you a little bit about Billy. If someone didn't know Billy and would ask me to describe him, I would say, have you ever seen a moonbeam? Billy was a ray of light. Okay. Over 60 years ago, I was a 17-year-old freshman with little vision of my future, and that's when I met Billy Stuart. Within days, I knew we would be lifetime friends. We came from such different backgrounds, families, neighborhoods. We had one common goal. From the beginning, we told each other we're going to win an NCAA title. And we knew from early on that we'd push each other to heights. He was at least 14 pounds heavier than me, and we wrestled almost daily, but the weight difference was inconsequential to him. For someone as competitive he was, he tried to beat the hell out of me anyway, and he did most of the time. When I would go into a match with a top opponent or go to the Nationals, it would seem like a reprieve after wrestling with Billy. Honest to God. So I maintain more than ever, seriously, that Billy was the toughest person I ever met, on and off the mat. His fight against cancer for over 10 years was valiant. Never gave his enemy an inch. He never stopped fighting. On the mat, he was even more amazing. My famous story about him winning the Nationals with 2 moves is etched in Jerry Lehman's biography, Tough Street. I asked him how he won the Nationals with only 2 moves. A sit out and a pancake. His prophetic answer was, watch me. And he did. And he did. And Billy won in a way very few people did. He had fun doing it. I was a pretty tense individual in those days. Those days. And he really gave me a lot of laughter and looseness and made a difference in my career, actually. I truly owe him that. In his junior and senior year, we roomed together off campus. That experience produced many stories, but for most of them, I refused to answer on the grounds that it may incriminate both of us. So, it's often said that I challenge anyone to meet Billy, hear his name, without an immediate smile. Try it now. Even now, if you think about Billy, a smile comes to your face, okay? I mean, is there anyone in this room that doesn't know the Hershey bar story? Come on. We'll tell you. No one could tell a yarn like Billy. No one. To this minute, I could still hear his puckish grin and hear what I call his machine gun laugh. No, I have it down. I could hear it now. He had a generous nature, but even that was laced with humor. I don't know if you guys remember, classmates, he came in one time and his father had sent him monogrammed underwear from Brooks Brothers. Honestly, WAS on the underwear. Now, they were $5 a pair, okay? Back then, you could buy a suit for $20, $5. So all the guys were saying, boy, it's too expensive. He said, oh, I'll call the old man in New York. He'll send them out for everybody. He sent monogrammed underwear out for everybody. But he had his initials on all of them. We're all going around with underwear, WAS, you know. Oh my God, I'm telling you, he was quite a character. But he had a generous nature. He was the first person to make a major endowment gift to the Lehigh Valley Wrestling Club. He felt endowment was important. He was the first one to make a major endowment gift. He and Colleen have provided flights of wine annually for the Lehigh Valley Wrestling Club dinner, and both were very benevolent contributors to this facility, naming the outside porch. About 50 feet from here, if you go over, beautiful outside porch is named for Billy and Colleen. Okay. The Lehigh Valley Wrestling Club board recently voted to name the reception for the wine dinner in memory of Billy beginning this year. So, Coach Lehman always said that our teams may have been the closest. How many decades have we been attending Easterns and Nationals together? Many of them here tonight. Caprio, Paratori, Hartenstein, Warnicki, Illingworth. Over the years, the group expanded for many alumni, zealous alumni. Krause, Perel, the Paul brothers. You know, we all go together. It's like a group, okay? But with Billy's magnetic personality, and just because he showed a love for everybody, he was a linchpin. Billy kind of held everything together. And although he and I, when we didn't see each other, texted on the phone for hours and cherished our unique relationship, although geography limited us from seeing each other more than a few times a year, Billy would say to me, you know, he'd say, true friends are like stars. You can't always see them, but you can be certain they are still there. He always told me that. That was a great one. Now, we all know he drove Coach Lehman crazy, but the coach loved him. And I remember he once quipped, I always liked Billy, but then he started to win. And the more he won, the more I liked him. That's what he Billy cherished our annual meetings at the Easterns, Nationals, places like that. And he used to say, yeah, we had a great time. We told 100 stories, most of the same ones. And a few of them were actually true, he said. So we shared a passion for Lehigh wrestling that most of you in this room understand, okay? And when he asked to be on the Lehigh Valley Wrestling Club board over 10 years ago, his answer was, sure, I'll go on if Mike comes on with me. So I had no choice, okay? Our gang will meet in Philadelphia again for the Nationals this year, and we'll continue our traditions. But for me, I think many others, it won't be quite the same without him. There'll be an emptiness. I think about him often, and every time I do, this warm feeling comes over me. Billy and I shared a relationship that lasted for over 60 years, and it will continue for an eternity. True love never ends. Thank you. Oh, and we got a couple of things for you, a couple of surprises. But
Who's going to buy the
come
wine
on
for
up,
our
honey.
next meeting?
Brian and Diane Yarosevich, I tell you, could not make it, but they sent a little gift.
Oh, so sweet.
This gift.
Oh.
This is last time we got together. Billy was with us. 6 national champions from Lehigh: Mark Lieberman, Mike Frick, myself, Ed Haber, Billy, and Tommy Scully. And you said you loved that picture, so they had it, got it framed for you. Okay. And then you have a present from me. I have this. I look at it almost every day. It's on my kitchen table. Okay. It's the year Billy was put in the IWA Hall of Fame.
Oh, I love that picture.
And people have said, you cannot look at this picture and not smile.
Exactly.
Okay? There's 2 people pretty happy. So that's for you.
That's a
Okay.
great picture.
Okay. Thank you. Now, two things. Before we go, we're going to have some refreshments now. But where's Becky? This is Colleen's cousin, Becky, and she has a little surprise for us, too. Go ahead.
Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me. I once was lost, but now I'm found. Was blind, but now I see. Thank you, thank God for you, the wind beneath my wings.
That ends the program. Now it's just time for us to spend a little time with Colleen, her family, and each other and our friends. We have some refreshments here, have some sandwiches and things. Enjoy it, and thank you so much for coming with our brother Billy. Come across well. Good, good.